This is Bobby Wilder. These are his traits, and this is how he survived 100 days in Project Zomboid. I spent the entire day searching for a heavy-duty vehicle that matched one of the keys in my collection.
You don't, these are obsolete now, you put them in your pocket.
After checking many locked and inoperable cars, I finally got lucky near the auto shop and found a battered Dodge Ram that started up.
Yeah!
It wasn't the pristine pickup truck I had my own, but hopefully it would hold up. Before heading back to the stadium, I stopped by the garden store to loot more farming supplies, planning ahead to build a large food source in my base. I drove the Dodge Ram back, but as I went to park in the garage on the east side, the tyre popped. Despite the setback, I managed to move the car inside. With daylight fading, I focused on taking stock of my supplies and organising my growing collection of gear. I woke up late, having stayed up organising all the supplies from my old base along with the new farming tools I'd looted. Once I got moving, I started clearing out the area of the stadium to create a larger farm.
I got this. Selling corn. Comes out of the fucking ground.
But after making some headway, I realised I'd forgotten to bring the essential farming implements from my old base. So I headed back to gather the tools I would need to till the earth and dig furrows for planting seeds. By the time I settled in for the night, I was satisfied with the progress I made despite the hiccup. I woke up to find my hair had grown shaggy again overnight. After a quick breakfast, I headed downstairs, eager to get back to work on the farm.
You know, sheep. Bit woolly. Pull it off, sell it, fucking grows back again!
I put Eye of the Tiger on for motivation as I started tilling the soil. The work kept me focused, but by the evening, melancholy crept in. To lift my spirits, I decided to crack open a bottle and get a little tipsy. In my drunken state, I passed out while hanging out with my beloved Spiffo backpacks, my only companions in this world. I woke up extra early, feeling a bit hungover from the night before.
Phil, I think it's happened again.
I was inspired to cut my shaggy hair to match Leon's style from Resident Evil Remake 4 that I was playing at the time.
No thanks, bro.
After a quick workout, I started reading Electricity Volume 1, working towards the goal of hot wiring the black pickup truck nearby. The Dodge Ram just wasn't going to cut it for the trip up north. I headed to the school to scavenge for more skill books, changing into Leon's signature winter jacket to really get to character. At first, the looting went well as I jammed out to Video Killed the Radio Star. Suddenly, a horde bashed down the doors, forcing me to abruptly retreat outside. I decided to pick them off with my gun, clearing the school and the surrounding areas. Once it was safe, I went back in for more books. I ended the day enjoying some beer soup by the fire as I continued reading up on electronics. I was suddenly jolted awake by an alarm going off at 2 AM. Not sure how that happened, but it interrupted my sleep.
I didn't get no sleep cause of y'all! Y'all not gonna get no sleep cause of me!
Since I was up, I decided to use the time productively and finish reading through the electrical skill book in the early morning hours. Once I completed the book, I immediately fell back asleep until 8 PM. After waking up from the marathon sleep session, I headed to my old base where the cabbages were finally ready to harvest. I picked them and properly started feasting to try and gain some weight. With plenty of bait now available, I crafted more rabbit traps before calling it a night. I started the day with my usual morning workout to stay in fighting shape. Next, I set about dismantling all the various electronics I had scavenged: radios, alarms, clocks, and even the TVs in the grandstand. It was tedious work, but I finally pushed my electrical skill to level 1, getting me closer to my goal of hot wiring a vehicle. In the afternoon, I turned my focus to mechanics. I removed and reinstalled various parts from the Dodge Ram, which helped me achieve the long sought after mechanics level 2. With those skills unlocked, I was ready for the moment of truth. I headed to the black pickup truck and successfully hotwired it. Driving it back to the base, excited at the new possibilities it would provide me. I called it a day, feeling accomplished and eager to put my new skills to good use on future excursions. The day started with me tending to the farm, where I was pleased to see my trapping skills were improving, snaring some more rabbits.
That's quite big.
I headed out to the farm shop in need of some supplies for the farm and the stadium. As I headed over, I thought about the idea of a greenhouse to be able to grow food indoors in the winter. While I was out, I also stopped by the storage units to loot an antique oven I had spotted earlier. No electricity was required to get it working, and it was much safer than an open fire. After loading everything into the pickup truck and returning to my base, I was excited to whip up a hearty rabbit and cabbage stew for dinner. To my delight, the meal finally moved the scale upwards and I began gaining weight.
Oh my God! Wow!
I knew constructing my ambitious compound would require a huge amount of supplies and a high carpentry skill. Confident in my weapons and ammo, I set up for the VHS store and construction shop up north. I inserted another 1 Bites the Dust into the car's cassette player and drove to the area, eager to gather materials.
Hey, gonna get you too. Another 1 bites the dust.
However, I was utterly unprepared for the sheer number of zombies that emerged. I tried thinning the horde, but my gunshots only attracted more. I beat a hasty retreat to the back of the construction store, hastily gathering armfuls of supplies before the zombies overwhelmed me. The drive home was a gauntlet, as I had drawn a massive crowd of undead. After dealing with the stragglers, I barricaded myself in the stadium kiosk, exhausted but successful in securing more provisions. After exhausting much of my ammo supply on yesterday's supplies run, I needed to restock, so I set out to scout the nearby police station, hoping to find more guns and ammunition. Fortune was on my side as I uncovered a haul including a shotgun and a decent amount of various ammo. Back at the base in the evening, I sorted through my findings. I also decided to swap my jacket for a more protective prepper jacket I had picked up previously.
You look pretty.
What did you say?
I said you look shitty. Good night, Denise.
To end the day, I whipped up some nourishing rabbit stew for dinner. Days 50 and 51 consisted solely of construction as I began building out the main framework of my planned base within the stadium compound. I had realised I had run out of nails again and needed to reach Carpentry 7 for my building. So I headed back up north to the construction store on a supply run. Learning from my previous mistakes, I parked in the back to avoid attracting hordes of zombies. The stealthy approach proved wise as I successfully scavenged food, construction materials, and skill books. On the drive back, I spotted a coveted katana on a zombie. I hopped out immediately, but I was quickly swarmed by more zombies. Lacking ammo, I had no choice but to retreat for now and grab it tomorrow when they dispersed. First thing in the morning, I returned to successfully retrieve the katana from the lone zombie. Still buzzing from the extraordinary lucky find, the rest of the day was rather uneventful. I spent time sorting through the supplies hauled from the previous run. While organising, I also continued reading up on the carpentry skill to further my progress. Having reached the necessary carpentry level, I was able to reinforce the east garage entrance with the sturdy new double doors. Securing this potential weak spot marked a sense of accomplishment. With the entrance fortified, I spent the rest of the day chopping down trees within the stadium grounds, ready to continue with the main base.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day.
What the weather, we're together.